From the shores of Malibu where the waves are pumping to the Great Wall of China and back to the streets of Abu Dhabi where the UFC is going. We are live. This is This Time Radio, the show where we talk about what you think about, but maybe you're afraid to voice. Don't worry. We'll voice it for you. We talk about everything on its time. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, UFC, politics, film, TV. TJ, me, who knows? We'll talk about it all, but we do have a special guest on the show. We're going to talk about her and a lot of things happening from the week that was in the news. God knows there's plenty of things to discuss along with UFC talk. And a little correction, UFC will be in Vegas this weekend, but I won't be there, but I will be in Abu Dhabi next week. So that's where my head's at. All right, everybody. TJ, you're good. We're ready to go. Rock, roll, you name it.
I'm ready. I'm ready to rock, ready to roll, ready to welcome in our guest.
All right. Well, let's bring on the little monster, Vanessa Demopoulos. Vanessa, how are you?
I'm so amazing. How are you?
Minorly amazing compared to, well, I don't want to call myself amazing, but when I have to be amazing is when you're getting ready to rock and roll in the octagon. That's when I have to get amazing. I got to give you every ounce of breath and passion I have and get you ready to go to war. And you do go to war. I got to say, congratulations. I'm going to get really wordy here, but I don't mean to, but you impressed a lot of people in the UFC. You impressed a lot of people in mixed martial arts. You're the former LFA strawweight champion. Going other things that you've done in your life. But you know what? Bottom line is you are a warrior, and now you're an octagon warrior. And you set quite the sensation when you jumped into Joe Rogan's arms at your first interview. That kind of like shocked the world and made the world smile a big smile. How did you feel that night? I'm sure amazing.
I mean, first off, you said something very specific, an octagon warrior. That means that I have reached the pinnacle of the MMA community in being a UFC fighter, UFC superstar, and a UFC warrior. Like that's so amazing. So to get the opportunity to have an interview, once you're an octagon warrior, that means that you've had to have won a fight in the octagon at the highest caliber of the MMA community. Like, it was so awesome. I just couldn't help myself. I just got too excited and I had to jump into Joe's arms.
No, listen, I loved it. There's certain moments in Joe's interviews where there's Derek Lewis saying his balls are hot, or you jumping in Joe's arms. I mean, Joe's reactions are legendary. He knows how to definitely put the face on when things like that happen. And that was, I guess I could say, you just got done busting, throwing punches and busting bones, and it was adorable.
Hey, to be fair, Vanessa was getting hit in that fight and then came back and did wonderfully. Like, that's one thing I really like about you, Vanessa, is you're willing to take your opponent's best shot to give your own and also, maybe break their arm.
Yes. Yeah. No, people don't even understand like how hard Silvana hit me. I was entirely unconscious, like to the point that I didn't even know what had happened until I'm in the interview with Joe Rogan. And he was like, so how hard was that right hand? And it clicked. And I was like, oh, that's what happened.
That's why I'm missing some time here.
Yeah, I was completely asleep. And I had woke up with an overhook and just continued to go into that jujitsu position.
Isn't that amazing?
You actually went completely asleep on that punch?
I was 100% out. I was not conscious.
See, there you go. One of the referees didn't see, TJ.
Right, of course. But isn't that amazing? Like the fact that Vanessa wakes up with an overhook, like that's ultimate muscle memory. You know what I mean? Like you're fighting even when you're not, conscious.
Yeah, when I went back and watched the replay, I could see that even unconscious, I was moving my way back into the guard position because she had complete side control on me. And I just was like autopilot jujitsu over there. It was super sick.
It's very impressive. And the impression you made, you're 2-1 in the UFC octagon now.
Yes.
There'll be, I think Khabib is probably going to be the only undefeated fighter ever in the UFC because he stopped fighting, but it's very hard to be undefeated in the octagon. Anybody can win on any given day, as we all know. Yeah. But you became a sensation in respect to, the jumping into Joe's arms and respect to your win. And then you kind of created something and then you jump in Michael Bisping's arms after your next fight. So who caught you better, Vanessa, Rogan or Bisping?
Oh, Rogan caught me better. But to be fair, I heard that maybe I caught Michael Bisping off guard because he's got like the blind eye. And I
Okay.
like jumped onto him. So he caught me with one arm, and I like hoisted my own legs up, where Joe actually like picked me up and put the mic around me and continued to talk while he was swinging me.
Right. And then after that, Tony Ferguson does the same thing with Joe after his last fight with Nate Diaz. So again,
what did you think about that?
you know what? I always say whatever Tony wants, Tony gets. Whatever any fighter wants, fighters get. But the bottom line is, like, I've created certain things in the announcing world that nobody ever did, and people try to emulate or copy or whatever. And that's, that's their prerogative. I always say create your own individual style, no matter what you do. But something like this, hey, if you started it, take credit for it, and take it as a compliment when anybody ever does it. That's the way to look at it.
There we go.
Sure.
The fact that Tony Ferguson was looking out for what I was doing is a huge compliment. It's Tony Ferguson. So
it goes to show people are watching you, Vanessa, even top fighters like Tony Ferguson for sure. So your MMA record's 8-4. You're 2-1 in the UFC. I know you train over with Santino DeFranco in Phoenix, Arizona. And your next fight's against Maria Oliveira, which is going to be in November, right?
Yes, on November 19th.
So you're training for that now, obviously.
I am. Yeah. So, I was like rolling with the punches right before I got on this podcast with you. I just got done fighting my friends in the cage, and I had to hurry up and whip it together to be here just to like hang out and stuff. It was really cool. It was so much fun.
Well, you freshen up and sharpen up pretty quickly. So you're doing a good job. You got it down.
Well, one thing I will say too about Vanessa, Bruce, is you say that she's training for her fight, which yes, she is. But like, I've worked with Vanessa off and on here now for the better part of like 6 months, and Vanessa is always training. Like her whole entire life is like camp.
That's good.
It's true. Yeah.
You know what I like about that?
I have what people call like off seasons. I do travel so much, but even when I travel, I'm training when I'm traveling. So like I'll go on what they call like traincations. So recently I was in Austin, Texas for a week, just like enjoying the greenery. I was chasing some deer in the forest, but I was still in the gym twice a day, making sure that I was doing jiu-jitsu out there.
That tells me one thing. I mean, to me is I have a fighting background, never as a pro. And the one thing I always did, even as an amateur or even just training, is I always stayed in shape. And the bottom line is, and I'm 65 now and I'm still in shape. I still do the best I can, maintaining whatever what do I have, TJ? I got implanted ab implants.
Yeah, ab implants is what people said a decade ago.
Yeah, right. It's crazy. You get one shot by the pool and they think you have ab implants because you stay in shape. That's really great. Anyway, all kidding.
You look amazing. So it's hard not to try to find some excuses as to why you look so good over there.
No, thank you. I'm blushing now, but I really appreciate it. But the bottom line is with the little segue to just anybody staying in shape, we should all stay in shape for obvious reasons, just pure health. But you're a fighter. Okay. We live in the UFC world. You can get a phone call tomorrow morning saying Saturday, we need you, right? You got to be ready to go. And Dana White and the powers that be, they love fighters like that, and that creates loyalty and everything else, but you got to be ready to go no matter what. And that seems to be your attitude 100%.
Absolutely. I like starting my fight camps as fight camps, not fat camps. So I'd like to walk in there in shape, and then I can actually focus on the task at hand versus like, man, I got to cut weight. So, and I'm a very big 115er too, but it's cool. Nice. Yeah.
Well, give me an example. Okay. Right now your fight's not for basically about 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So what are you weighing right now, if I may ask you? Is that okay? Oh, you know what?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You're not supposed to ask a girl that, but I'm talking to a fighter. No. You're allowed to ask.
That goes out the window, Buffer, when you're talking to a combat sports athlete.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, what do you go through? Do you naturally walk around 10 pounds above a straw weight, or what is your natural thing?
Yeah, so I've been dieting for quite a while now and staying in great shape. And this morning I woke up at 133.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's big. You are big for straw weight.
I'm a very big, and I'm in shape.
Yeah. Wow.
Straw weight. Yeah. But I mean, this is my normal, like, this isn't out of character for me. So like, even like I stay in very close contact with the Performance Institute, and like, they see all my numbers, they see everything I'm doing. And this is just who I am. I'm strong as fuck.
Can you give us sort of a review of the PI and how, useful that is as a tool for being a UFC athlete? Because that is one thing that sets the UFC apart above and beyond from any other promotion, is this world-class facility that they make available for you.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me. Like, how are people not using this multi-million-dollar facility that they've given to us and provided to us? Like, I mean, okay, so it's one thing to like want to do your own thing, like, oh, this has always worked for me. That's cool, but sports science is real.
Right.
Like being able to like see all of your numbers, see your body metrics, like like how are you doing today versus what it was that you ate versus like all the different trainings that you're doing, like to have them like staring at everything that I'm doing on a daily basis, like all of my intake food, all of my workouts, like being able to help me program my life. Like it's amazing, like I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, please. How can I use you guys more? It's such an awesome tool. And I think it's crazy. There are athletes who literally train at the Institute who don't utilize the Institute in the like facility to its maximum capacity. Like I'm mind blown. I'm like, freaking yes, like let's go.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I've toured the Institute. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's just, it's got everything a fighter any athlete could possibly imagine to
Well,
train with.
you can have a staff of, physicians, like doctors and like rehab people, I guess it would be, not necessarily doctors, but the fact that you can have all of that on demand that will, service you. Like, I know combat sports is an independent one-on-one sport, but it really takes a team to get an athlete, ready and maintain their, well-being.
Yeah, I freaking love it, dude. I use them to the maximum. I'm like, what more can I like talk to you guys about? Like, please. It's great.
You know what? You could talk about a lot of things because you have quite a background I want to get into a little bit. But thinking about it, you come through the Dana White Contender Series, right?
Yes.
You wind up in the octagon. Previously, you're the LFH strawweight champion. It's
Mhm.
almost like, hey, I'm a champion in one promotion, but now I'm going to start in the ground floor of the other promotion and prove that I have deserved to fight in the other promotion. So kudos to you, Vanessa. You
Thank
paid your dues. Now it's time to receive your dues and, make it work for yourself. And I'm all about that. I love watching the natural progression and evolutionary process of a fighter, male and female both. And I'm very proud of you. Sincerely. Keep it up. Keep up a good solid image for those young girls that are watching and young boys that are watching that, like to emulate everything that obviously fighters do. So kudos to
Man,
you.
you got the
Vanessa.
biggest hug in the world coming at you next time I see you. Just know that. Be ready. I'm about to tackle you, bro.
All right. Well, you can tackle me. I mean, the hug is enough. The tackle we can hold off on, but that's okay.
Oh,
That's okay.
it's all one big, motion. You know
It's
what I
one
mean?
big motion. And if I go to, if I fall on my back, it's all cool. Let's just not do it in the octagon. I got an image to keep up. No, I'm kidding. You can jump in my arms too. It's okay. It's all good. It's
I
all
love
good.
it. I love it.
So Vanessa, one of the interesting things about you is that obviously there's many. You were formerly an exotic dancer, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you credit that job for some of your skills in mixed martial arts.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, the question is, what skills did you learn as an exotic dancer that you apply in the octagon?
It has been so amazing to be such an expert aerialist when it comes to being an exotic entertainer. So
Uh-huh.
like I'll simplify it for you. As a stripper, we get on the pole and I'm freaking good at that pole. Like it is awesome. Like I
Right.
go 2.5 stories in the air and I'm doing death defying tricks, hanging on by
Wow.
a limb, by like a kneecap, by an elbow, and just like flipping around. So it's like people don't recognize, number one, how strong you have to be to climb that pole several different times every single night after I've already done 2 to 3 to 4 training sessions in that day, and then going to work at nighttime and continuing to work out per se. Now I'm flipping around in the air. So it's strength, it's agility, it's having spatial awareness, because if I miss, there is no nets. There are no paddings to fall onto. I am going to break my face in half. So I had to be really aware of where I am on the pole, and that helped me so much in jujitsu.
Right.
I have a grip on somebody. that grip is not going anywhere. Like, I have you. You are now a part of me. And
Right.
I am going to take this away with me. And it's like, it's helped me so much just to like have better spatial awareness. You know, I'm very fast. I'm very agile. I'm very acrobatic. And
Uh-huh.
like, people always thought I had like a gymnast background. And I'm like, no, I was just a stripper for 13 years. Like,
Well, I mean, it's
I
kind of
will
being a
say
gymnast.
no, I will say when you walked in the octagon, when I first saw you, because I know fighters builds, I'm very much in tune with physical, very much in tune with the physical body and the different sports. The first thing that occurred to me, I go, this girl must have been a gymnast. That's actually one of the first thoughts I had, because you are just one concentrated. Your muscle tone doesn't come from out within; it comes from within to without. You know,
yes. Only
yeah,
because you've been an athlete your whole life do you know that kind of stuff.
yeah, exactly. And let's talk about another thing. Timeline. You've been fighting as a professional MMA fighter for how long?
Oh, it took me a long time to go professional, but I started fighting Muay Thai when I was 21, and I started jujitsu when I was like 23, 24. And I mean, I've like kind of went straight into MMA with jujitsu. And then I took about a 3.5, 4 year lap of MMA where I only did jujitsu around the
Got it.
world.
Got
And
it.
then I came back to MMA, and then I like hurried up and went professional.
And how old are you now?
34.
I like how you had to think about it.
It's just a number. When you're in that good of shape,
It's
it's
just
just
a
a
number.
number.
Trust me. It's just a
Trust me,
number.
I go to sleep every night. Like, I'm only 25. Okay.
No, that's fine. Look, you're only 34, Vanessa.
Thank
You don't
you.
look 30.
Thank you.
Trust me. It's all good. The reason I'm asking now, people obviously had to have a second job in this business because you're not making the kind of money to start to sustain yourself. How long ago did you do the exotic dancing? Were you doing it while you were fighting, while you were training? Was that your job too?
I just recently retired in December.
Oh, really? Now, do
Yeah.
you
So
live in Vegas or where do you live?
I currently live in Phoenix,
Okay.
but I was actually, prior to here, because I moved here just 1 year ago, I was living in Los Angeles and I was working in Las Vegas. So I was making that 4 hour trip every single weekend just to go to work.
Wow.
I would spar Friday mornings in LA, hurry up and clean up, get in the car, drive 4 hours to Las Vegas, and then work an 8 hour shift at nighttime.
Wow.
What
Really?
what was it like, Vanessa, fighting and also dancing? Because I would imagine like it's not a good look if you show up for your weekend gig with a mouse underneath your eye.
Let's just say I got really good at makeup. So it's like, or if I had like a really bad black eye, like one time I had a bunch of stitches, right? Like I've had over 40 stitches in my face throughout the duration of like me being a fighter. And I had like a bunch of them right here. So I put on some glasses. So I was like, the cute little nerd for a little while
Right.
there.
Yeah.
If I had a really fat lip on one side, I'd put a little bit more lip liner on the other and make my lips look bigger, so it
What
like
if you just
worked
came?
out.
What if you just came down like a bruised fighter on the stage? Men
It's
would
not a
probably
good
still
look.
they probably not a good look maybe, but there's probably some guys out there that would be like, oh, okay, that's cool.
You don't even
So
understand though, like just being a normal girl in general, like without the entertainer part, like if I have black eyes and I go, let's say to the grocery store,
Oh
the
yeah.
weird looks I get from people, like, all right, blink twice if you need help, like,
Yeah, especially if you're there with a guy. You know what I mean? They're
oh
gonna
my
be like
gosh.
giving the guy the evil eye.
I was out to dinner one time with my at the time boyfriend, and I had a black eye from training, and I started crying. We were having a conversation about family or something. He's like, "No, no, no, you can't do that in public." He's
Oh
like, "I'm
man.
gonna get
oh geez.
arrested." Like,
Show your emotions. I think it's very attractive, male or female, when you show the emotions. The worst thing you can do is to hold the emotions in. Period.
yeah,
Hey,
I
so
understand.
Bruce, I've got a story that's not my
I'm sorry.
story.
Let me just elaborate one more thing. TJ, please, just one
Sure.
more thing. So Vanessa, a standard story, and on It's Time Radio, we like to really get into people's personalities and talk beyond the obvious. We've had exotic dancers who are adult film stars or just exotic dancers on the show. We've had the show for 16, 17, I don't know, 18 years, whatever. So we've had a
Wow.
wide choice of characters. So one thing I noticed when it comes to the dancers that I know or have met or have been on the show, it's usually like, I'm getting in this. I want to pay college tuition. I want to do this. I'm going to get out of it. Then it's very hard for them to get out of it because the money, if they do well, is so good,
Mhm.
right? So now with the money you're making in MMA, hopefully with sponsors and everything else coming on board for you, was it a very comfortable transition for you to stop dancing, or was it a difficult, long time coming decision to when you wanted to stop dancing?
Oh my gosh. Thank you for asking this question because people don't understand. Like, I made so much money as an entertainer every time I walked into that club. And I just remember, so the fight where I jumped into Joe Rogan's arms was in January. And I was at my home in December and I was getting ready to go to work, right? And I just got done training all day long. I was completely exhausted and I was like doing my makeup and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't want to keep splitting my time in half. Like, I want to chase my dreams. Like, I am here. I am in the UFC. I want to be able to do this full time, wholeheartedly.
Right.
And I was like, man, I can keep shaking my ass for dollars, or I can go and make thousands by just beating people up the right way because I am giving all of myself to fighting, not half of me. I do have this talent to be able to do it. And it was the scariest thing in the world for me to walk away from being an entertainer because that was my stability for so many years. Like, that was always my saving grace. Like, I didn't work every single weekend, but if I needed money, I knew I could walk into the club. And when I retired back in December, that was me putting my foot on the ground and saying, I am not doing this anymore. I am going to chase my dreams with 1,000% capacity of who I am and with all of my intensity. And I just believed in myself and I did it.
I love it. And you know what? Great answer. You took what I call a puncher's chance, just like my bourbon. You made it work. So I have a question. When your first win in the cage, when you stopped in the UFC octagon, when you stopped dancing and you won, did you look at the floor to see if they threw in dollar bills? No, just kidding. Just joking. Just a joke.
Oh
Just
my
a joke.
goodness.
Do you miss it at all? Here's an honest question. Do you miss it at all? Do you miss the easy money?
I don't miss the easy money. I do miss dancing. I don't miss the money. And I'm very happy right now in my
Good.
position in life. Like, I couldn't be more grateful for everything.
Good.
Getting to chase my dreams, getting to be a UFC fighter, but I loved dancing. Like, that's why I became so good at it. You know, like,
Right.
I love getting on the pole. I love entertaining for crowds of people, which I get
Yeah.
to do in the octagon, but only what, 4 times a year? You know, like, where I was just like the star of the show every night. So
Yep.
it's I'm just an entertainer at heart. Like, I love that so much. And in fact, I have a pole at my house and I get to dance sometimes, but it's different, you know.
Yeah.
And so recently I've been looking to go do like some silks or something just to like have some fun again with that, because it was like a huge part of me. It was a huge part of like everything that I do and having fun and laughing and dancing.
All right. So here's my business question. Okay. Because I'm, you know, entrepreneur personified, involved in many different businesses, always thinking, how to work the brand, how to make it better. So here's something that could come up in your future. Okay. And I don't know if your contract with UFC prevents it, but well, obviously we see TV stars, some film stars, celebs doing, let's just take the male counterpart, going and appearing one night for the Thunder from Down Under, or doing something in Vegas and getting a ton of money. Just
Yes.
like the guy from Beverly Hills, 90210 Beverly Hills that does that. And I could name a number of others. Um, I'll actually be honest with you, as I'm always honest with everybody. In my early days, if not even now, I thought about doing it one night and just for the hell of it. Because I even in the early days of Chippendales back here in LA, I had buddies that danced at Chippendales, and we were talking. I would go and just do it one night for the hell of it. So forget about that. I'm just saying I understand the thought. What if, as you grow in your image and become as popular as you are in that business, would that be a big payday if you just wanted to just say, I want to do this one night? And now appearing, the UFC strawweight champion, something like that. Is that a real money maker? Number one, is that, do you think, even proper to think that you would even consider? Number two, and number three is just off the table.
I don't think that it's not proper to consider, especially considering like where I came from. There's so many girls now who are really capitalizing on things like OnlyFans, and
Yeah.
capitalizing on their image in this very sexy, sensual way. And I think for me, like, I had the opportunity to go and be what we call a feature entertainer.
That's right. That's the
where
term I was searching for. Yeah.
yes, I had that opportunity because I was a better entertainer than most of the features that are out there.
Right.
But it was something that I really looked at it like, this is going to take time and effort away from my true dreams and my true passion, and I think that goes back to wanting to like completely split my attention. Even right now, I'm starting to do things like commentating, and doing the extra round show with TJ, which is amazing. And I love it so much, but that's very immersed into my current lifestyle and dreams. Also, it's really hard for me because I know so many little people look up to me that it's like, it's hard for me to kind of take that route anymore. Like I'd love to capitalize on an OnlyFans, but I'm like, there's little eyes looking at me, so I don't do that kind of stuff because I lived that life for many years. So I think it's better where I'm at now.
Thank you, Vanessa. You know what? It was kind of like a somewhat not a trick question, but I wanted to see where your head was at because I think your answer is perfect. I don't think you should do it. I think you should capitalize on everything you're building. And I know your career in commentating, working with TJ, the sponsors, everything, the world's your oyster right now.
Yeah.
And that is something that could prevent you from getting the sponsors and interfere with the whole process. So I would not do it. I would not do it. Give it a chance.
I love my
solid
life.
answer. I was setting you up a little bit. Solid answer.
I can't be tricked, Bruce.
DJ, what's the story you wanted to tell?
Well, it's a story where Vanessa says she can't be tricked. She also can't be stranded because she was stranded out on her balcony in Cancun, Mexico. She was down for EBI and combat jiu-jitsu. And what story were you on, Vanessa? Like the 14th?
The 13th floor.
Right.
Like of this like balcony right out in Cancun. And it's okay. Here's what happened. Okay. So I had
all right, let me hear this one, Vanessa. Go ahead.
Here's what happened. I just gotten out of the shower and I'm watching the sunset out of my balcony, right? And I was like, how glorious. So I go to step out and it's so hot and humid outside. I was trying to keep the AC in. So I go to shut the door behind me and I hear click, click. And I'm like, no. So now I am naked on this balcony in all my glory.
No towel?
No towel. I am just naked, like overlooking everything. And I am locked out. I am yanking on this door. It is not coming open. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? And there's like no furniture on this balcony, right? So and there are giant, I don't know what you would call them, but there are separators amongst the rooms. So I'm a little person and I'm trying to, and I can't get over these things, right? And
so how did you get out of there?
So I went and scaled the outside of the building. And I went several rooms down because I saw a light several rooms down. And thank God for being a stripper because I scaled the outside of this building and I was gripping it like Spider-Man. And then I finally get down to the other part where I saw a light and I knock and nobody answered the door, but I pulled on it and their door was unlocked. So I welcomed myself inside. I grabbed a towel and then I went out. It was
oh my
crazy.
God, that's hilarious. Jeez. And how many floors up?
13.
No, not for me.
Totally naked, scaling the side of a building.
Not for me. I can surf big waves in the past, but I have a fear of heights. And believe me, 13 stories, it all kicks in right there. I'm not doing anything. Wow.
I had no other options.
Good for you. It's learn and adapt or adapt. What is that term, TJ? Adapt, whatever. You adapted, you made it happen. All right, TJ, that's a hell of a story on her. Is that the story you wanted to
yeah, no, that's the story because she was telling me about it at the airport the next day, and I was just like flabbergasted. It's like, what?
Wow.
I would hate to have it go sideways, and UFC fighter falls to her death because she got locked out after a shower.
That's so awesome.
Trying to show them how I did it, but they wouldn't let me reenact it. So
yeah. So we live in a crazy world these days, Vanessa, with the social media, everything. I mean, all the stuff going on that, you can benefit from, you can earn a lot of money from, but there's so much more awareness out there and there's crazy things happening everywhere. A lot of people, a lot of mental issues. Did you hear about this Vegas showgirl that was killed in front of the Wynn Hotel this week?
No.
No.
Did you, TJ?
No.
2 Vegas showgirls walking in. Again, I'm going by memory now. They were walking in, and a guy walked up to him, a guy named Yoni Barrios, right? And the girl's name is Maris Digiovanni. So they're walking in, and they're in their, as I understood it, they were in their showgirl uniforms. This guy walked up and asked them to take a picture. And when they refused to take the photo for whatever reason they refused, maybe they detected something, he stabbed them both. He stabbed her right in the heart. Her friend got him back to protect her. He stabbed her in the lungs, and I think attacked a couple other people at the same time before he was taken into custody. And this is right in front of the Wynn Hotel, TJ. The Wynn Hotel.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Now, in your life in the clubs, was there a lot of bad things that happened? I mean, you had to be protected yourself walking out to your car afterwards, the whole 9 yards. I mean, was it still like, you had to be obviously very, very aware and very safe, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Number one, I'm really grateful to be a fighter because there were many times when I was in, I'd call them compromising situations,
Right.
where customers maybe thought that they could get away with a little bit more than what I was willing to let them get away with.
Right.
And I would just kindly put them to sleep. So it was
Good for
really
you.
wonderful for me having jujitsu to be able to just like put any normal human to sleep at any given time.
Good for
And
you.
thank you. No, it was a real thing. There was a lot of times when I'd be like, hey, please, like, you better stop, you better stop, you better stop. Okay.
Stop.
So
Out of curiosity, did they ever come back to you with anything personal, like a civil suit or anything like that?
never. No, because they know that they were in the wrong. Yeah.
Good. Good.
Yes.
Good for you. Love it. I wish every woman had that ability.
Right. I really I super encourage things like jujitsu. Like I know a lot of girls like Krav Maga is like a huge thing, for like self-defense, and it makes people feel very comfortable. But man, jujitsu is the one. Like if you could just like put someone to sleep and then walk away from a situation, like, are you kidding me? That's life-giving right there.
Absolutely.
And
Well, I think Krav Maga is great. I know what it teaches. One of my friends, Boss Rudin Buddies, is one of the best teachers here in LA. But then you're getting into a fight. Okay. You don't want to be in a fist fight as a woman. You don't want to be, I mean, you do what you have to do, but if you can manipulate, put them to sleep or like that, obviously that's the best choice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. One time, there was a fight outside of the bar after work, and I was a part of the altercation, and I just like jumped on this person, choked them unconscious, and then I got to stand up. And it's like, this is a street fight. This is a very grown individual. I am all of 5'2", right? I am not that large of a human. And I can just like put this dude to sleep out on the streets and be able to be safe. Like, I just can't preach it enough. Like people need to learn jujitsu.
Talk about walking around with confidence, right? That's about as much confidence you get. I love it. I love it.
I get to be as crazy as I want. I can choke anyone unconscious.
Speaking about being in shape and taking care of yourself, you probably read in the press lately about Dana White's, transition.
I love that for him.
Very cool.
I heard though that he was in like almost like a life-giving situation where he was like, like you're gonna die if you keep on this track, and he was like,
given
not
10
today.
Yeah, he was given 10.4 years to live by a guy that does a special blood test, who, as I read it, met with him for about 3.5 hours or so going over the blood tests. I mean, my blood tests I've gotten, which are extreme, as they should be. So, everything, 10 minutes, your doctor's done talking. God knows what this guy looked at. And supposedly his predictions are within a few months.
Wow. That's terrifying when you think about that.
That's terrifying. Yeah. So when Dana heard that, it's time to get rid of the meat, rid of the fat, rid of the cheeses, everything. And look at the transition of now. Dana looks amazing.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's awesome.
I think it's very cool.
People are going to start saying that he's got ab implants too here soon.
Dana's always had abs, just had a little on top of the abs. But it's all good. It's all good. So good for Dana. It's all about staying healthy. Couple things in the news here. You want to share a couple news stories with us, Vanessa? You want to hang with us?
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Okay, you're not in a rush for anything? You're all good?
Nothing. No.
Okay, very cool. 127 people. TJ, get this. Indonesia. We've all heard about soccer matches, rating issues.
I heard about
everything.
This.
125 people were killed.
Yep.
At a soccer match.
If you take all the injuries from soccer matches on the field, or I guess on the pitch, and combine them with soccer injuries and deaths from riots and sort of extracurriculars like this, I believe soccer is the world's most deadly sport.
It's amazing.
Jeez,
It's such a passionate sport for certain countries. It's crazy. I can't even comprehend that. It's just beyond comprehension.
Yeah.
I've heard about horrible things.
Why did they die? Was it because like one of the teams lost and they just started rioting, or was it like a mass shooting situation?
It was violence erupted. Okay. It was an Indonesian soccer match and it was like in the early hours of Sunday. So what they're basically saying is that two of the biggest soccer teams, they clashed in the stands, the fans. Okay, the support Arena FC, they're called. I can't announce the other one, Surabaya or whatever. So they clashed in the stands after the Arema team was defeated 3-2 in the match. It was just a basic match, right?
Yep.
So supporters from the losing team then invaded, the area. Police fired tear gas, which led to a fan crush.
Yeah.
That led to cases of suffocation.
It's basically a stampede. Yeah, they're trying to get away from the tear gas. They're also still fighting, and unfortunately, things get out of hands when you're in the stands like that.
Yeah, well, two police officers died, and aside from the 125 people, there were 300 people that were injured.
Yeah.
No way.
And they also feel the death toll could possibly rise more so because obviously for the injuries that happen. It's just so tragic. It's like, why would you even want to go?
It's just a game, guys.
It's just a game.
I'm reading a book right now. It's called The 5 Levels of Attachment. And actually the example of like levels of attachment that we have to things, they talk about soccer, where it's like fans get so riled up about their teams.
Yeah.
And like their teams become their identity. And like if their team loses, like they've lost and nothing else matters in the world. And if you're against their team, you're against their whole family, and like they're willing to kill you for it. It's crazy.
That's one thing I will say about soccer is obviously we have like big sports fans here in the United States, and people love their baseball teams or their football teams, etc. But when you look at, soccer around the world, especially in Europe, the clubs of these cities really dictate how well that city will do financially and economically.
Like Manchester.
Right, 100%. And like, even like the smaller cities, like I'm thinking of, Ryan Reynolds bought a team. I don't know if you know that in
I read
Wales.
That last week.
Well,
he better. He just made $235 million off his gin.
Yeah. He's doing fine for himself. But like this small little town in Wales, like they depend on their soccer team doing well for tourism dollars and just overall morale. And so like when you get some of these fanatical fans, we're talking about losing a match, but we're also talking about, maybe the fate of their city.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't think about it from that perspective.
Because like nobody worries about New York City if the Knicks don't win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they worry about the Super Bowl coming to Los Angeles because it just means gazillions of dollars coming in. Just like the Olympics mean gazillions of dollars, potentially.
I watched Cleveland change as an entire city from the years prior to the Cavaliers having all their success. And then also the Indians, previously known as the Indians, when they started doing well, it's like Cleveland as an entire city started to rise up. They totally redid everything because they knew that a lot of fans were coming into the city. So yeah, it really does make a huge difference, but we don't see that every
perfect
day.
example about that is the movie Major League with Charlie Sheen. How they were the Cleveland Indians, how they're the worst team in the league, and the owner was trying to keep them the worst team in the league, and they wound up winning the series, and everything changed.
I wish they would have changed their name to the Rocks, Cleveland Rocks.
Oh Why? My gosh! Why were you not a part of this decision making?
I don't know. I should have been.
What did they change their name to? Refresh me.
The Guardians.
Huh?
Guardians.
It's like the Washington Commanders. I'm not that crazy about that name.
Nah, I don't like it.
I don't like. That's just.
I actually kind of like the Washington football team. I hate to say it.
I did too.
Yeah,
I did too. Definitely. Speaking of football, the Raiders had a little issue last night in their loss at the game they had. Devontae Adams, their star receiver.
Yeah,
he's facing suspension for shoving a worker, on the ground amongst an interview he was doing. And that worker's already gone to the police. So he's got problems.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to be dismissive of that, but you never know when star athletes are involved. And, was it a bad shove? Was this person really hurt? Or was it one of those things where it's like, okay, he touched you. It's still probably inappropriate, but are you looking to get paid now?
Yeah, he apologized on Twitter, but he's going to face game suspension potentially, which talking about the Raiders, I actually appear for the Raiders and open their home games, Vanessa.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, from the top of the stadium. It's just one of the most fun things I've ever done. It's just so much fun. Get 70,000 people standing on the feet going crazy, watching myself in the videotrons while I'm going nuts. And
Yeah.
it's just a real fun thing to do. But the Raiders now, they played last night. And TJ, watch the game, TJ?
I caught bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, 4 minutes left. They're on the they're going in for the touchdown. It's fourth
Yep.
down. They got 1 yard to go. They could have easily no, they got the touchdown. Now the score is something like 20-19 or 22-21. They elected to go for a 2-point conversion instead of just tying the game and going into overtime.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know if
I don't. Logic says you take the extra point and play for overtime.
Yeah.
But then you get the 2-point conversion and you're brilliant and you're raved.
Yeah, but I mean,
incredible.
you got to play it safe, I think.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes.
speaking of football, here's something for you. Now, this is not, public dancing for entertainment, but Antonio Brown, the receiver from the Bucks,
Okay.
worked with Brady and the New England Patriots and all. This guy's got some issues, man. He's in Dubai, TJ. He's in
Okay.
Dubai. Okay. He exposes himself to a woman in the
What?
pool by sticking his butt in her face. And then if you look at the story, there's a picture in the New York Post where he grabs his private parts and he extends them out of the water and starts, showing everybody.
Okay, so there's
Whoa.
something mentally unstable.
something
Yeah,
about this
mentally
that's
video.
wrong
not
here.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not okay. Not okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
for
there's some super underlying stuff there. Like, dude needs a psychologist.
yeah, for the
real.
longest time, everyone is just talking about him being an eccentric athlete, I believe it would be. But this goes above and beyond that.
Yeah, that's unacceptable behavior.
No, it's rude. It's wrong.
Well, you're breaking the law, and when you travel internationally, you need to make sure you know what the laws are. But I'm pretty sure that type of behavior is illegal pretty much everywhere. So
I
Think
think
what
you
the
could
laws are in
go
Dubai,
to a
babe.
literal nude beach, and that's still inappropriate.
right, yeah,
Yeah,
no, you're
yeah,
100%
yeah.
right. It's one thing about just being nude. It's another thing to force it upon people, and that's
Well,
Yeah.
I do go topless at the beach, but I don't go bottomless. Not my choice. So all good. TJ, Antonio Inoki passed away.
I saw that. Very
Yeah.
sad.
Now, Vanessa, are you familiar with Antonio Inoki? He's the Japanese wrestling icon that goes before your time, where he actually fought Muhammad Ali in a mixed martial arts match,
Oh,
kicking him in the
wow.
legs. He's very, very popular. He used to put on the Boombaye event, which I did in
Like 20 years ago, Buff.
20 years, about 2003, I think I did it, or 2005. And it was like 50,000 people in the stadium. And it was on New Year's Eve when they had two other mixed martial arts shows in Japan on the same night that captured 60%
Running
of the
head
TV
to head.
audience. Head to head. It was crazy. And he was known for the Toucan slap. Like you've heard of the Nate Diaz slap, right?
The
Right.
Stockton slap.
Yeah, the Stockton slap. This is the Toucan slap. And people would line up, women, children,
Yeah.
pregnant women, whatever, to be slapped by him.
It was an honor. Yeah.
It was an honor. Yeah. I let him slap me in front of everybody alone in the ring in front of all the people. And I got to tell you, he slapped me. My head did a he hit you. So it
Bruce,
was an
I got
honor.
questions for you, dude.
Go
I want to
ahead.
hear about like your martial arts stuff. Like, this is so cool to me because I had no idea that you were
Oh.
like that immersed. Like, okay, so like you being an announcer is like one thing, right?
Thank you.
I just assumed that it was something that like you did it one day and you were good at it, but no, like you literally love this sport from the inside out for all of the reasons.
Very passionate about the sport. My first start was judo when I was 12 in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I achieved a green belt and I moved to it was transition. Went from Philadelphia at 15 or 14, going on 15 to Malibu, California. Right. Suddenly I see waves and surfing and you don't see a lot of blonde girls in Philadelphia. It's like it was just hormones are flying. I'm going through puberty the whole bit. It was an amazing transition for a young boy to go to high school out there. So immediately I got into surfing. I got into the Baywatch lifestyle, but I met Chuck Norris's two of Chuck Norris's black belts that became my best friends in high school, who introduced me to his fighting partner, Bobby Burbage. And I started training in Tang Soo Do. And I achieved a second-degree black belt in Tang Soo Do. And as a surfer in Malibu, we fought a lot. Okay. We fought on the beach. It was territorial. We fought in the streets. We fought. We surfed and we fought and trained. Right. So I was used to that kind of world, but in the dojo world, with all respect to Tang Soo Do and Taekwondo and all the different, regimented martial arts styles out there, when you fight in the dojo, it's ippon, right? You land a punch, oh, ippon. like the Karate Kid, right? It didn't fulfill me. It was beautiful, it was wonderful, and I was good at it, but it didn't fulfill me because I knew what it was like to fight for real. So I entered the world of kickboxing, and I kickboxed heavily for like 10 years, training, sparring Saturday, little smoker here and there, crazy stuff. Even one time in a dojo that I was training at, this cannot do this today. They would get sued. There's no way. It was a street affair where all the shops were open, no cars allowed, all the food trucks, everybody in the streets. So at the dojo called Steel Town that I was training at the time in Venice, California, there were basically 2 or 3 of us that were the guys that were always beating the hell out of each other. Okay. And going at it. So the dojo sensei, Chris Steele, he elected to keep the doors open and allow people to come in off the streets and go at us for 1 round.
It's like the
day.
Gracie challenge back
like
in
a
the
crazy
day.
challenge.
Yeah.
So this is one of the coolest and dumbest things I ever did in my life. Right.
I'm like getting excited hearing this.
So there's like 3, maybe 4 guys, and we, we're ready to, we're all whatever. I got to tell you, after like, I probably did this. I at least did about 2 or 3, like 2-minute rounds, about an hour, we all did as they were coming in. But this one guy came in and he looked like he just got out of jail. Okay. Tatted up, down. It was my turn to go in, bigger than me the whole bit. I didn't go down, but I'll tell you one thing, he clocked my ass. I mean, it definitely was probably the last one I wanted that day. I was done after that one, but crazy stuff like that. But I always wanted to have one pro fight, right? Just to say I did it. Now I'm older now. Okay. I'm like 32. So, and I was making great money doing what I was doing in my business. So it's not like a choice of money effort, but I had connections at the LA Forum who on the Monday night fights would have like 3-round kickboxing match, on the undercard. And I was training for it, right? I got concussed 2 or 3 times during my training and went to the doctor, and I probably been concussed more than that. As it happens more than we probably care to talk about. And my guy just said, you got to stop. You got to stop. He goes, train all you want, but no more fighting. I was slurring my words. I had everything that happens. And he said, you're going to turn 45 and what you're happening right now is going to be happening forever. He goes, just cool it. So that was it. That's pretty much the extent of it. But I always kept training. I'm still flexible. I could do full splits, the whole bit. I'm always make sure I still stay in shape. I just don't bang anymore. I'll save it for if I have to. Okay. When I need that mean 15 seconds, because if it goes past 15, 20 seconds, it's called help, Mr. Wizard. Let me get out of here.
So if the fighters, if you're ever like announcing the fighters, they just can't take it anymore. They start going after each other. They don't know that you're going to sit there and throw down with them, like.
Oh, TJ knows it's something if, there's a few fighters that cause some issues in the octagon. And I'm always surprised when the commission does not react fast enough, and screw it. I'll get in there and, make sure it calms down.
Let's go. That's freaking awesome. That's awesome. So you're a black belt in judo and in this, what is it
Not
called?
in judo. I didn't get a black belt in judo. I trained different arts. I've trained Wing Chun. I trained some jits. I'll tell you one quick story. In 1991, when I was heavily into kickboxing, and I told the story in the show before, so I'll make it brief. A famous movie director named John Milius, who wrote Apocalypse Now and directed and wrote Conan the Barbarian and many, many other films, Red Dawn, and all these films that were out. So he was very big in jiu-jitsu, and he said, you got to come with me, because we were buddies. He says, come train with me at this dojo in Torrance. Now I'm living in Malibu at the time. Okay. So, okay. I went down, I trained, we go in, and out comes this skinny kid. Right. He goes, hi, this is 1991. UFC came on in 93. He goes, hi, my name is Hoyce. Nice to meet you. I understand you're a kickboxer. Come with me, right? Go with him. He goes in one of the rooms, with all the rubber, the pads and the walls, or everything's whatever. It's just him and me. All right. And he says, so you like to kickbox? You like to fight? Come at me. Just like that. Come at me. Take my head off. Right. I go, okay. Do you want to put on some gloves? He goes, no, let's have fun. Come at me. Right. Okay. I was game. I went at him. I would say maybe I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, but I'll give it 45 seconds later. Right. He had me on the ground in a side choke, and he's choking the hell out of me. I'm going out. Right. And he goes, tap, tap, tap. So I tap, and I'll never forget it, Vanessa. He gets up in the guard, right, straightens out his gi, and he looks at me, goes, see, isn't it nice not to get hit in the face like that? Right. Loved it. And then 2 years later, when he walked out in the octagon with his arms in the back of his family or his brothers, I was watching it with my family and a couple friends, and I said, "See that skinny kid? See all those monsters? Watch. He's going to beat every single one of them." Because back then it was like blood sport. It was which is the best style, and we all know jujitsu dominated the first 2 or 3 years, as a base. Wrestling becoming probably one of the greatest bases you can have. So there's my little background story. And Hoist and I, when we see each other, we laugh. We mention it. We laugh about it all the time.
I love this so much. Like, this is freaking awesome.
Well, I have a lot of respect for fighters. I understand fighter mentality. I was in the boxing world for years, managing my brother, Michael Buffer, the legendary Let's Get Ready to Rumble announcer. And, I've been around fighters. I train with fighters. It's in my blood. It's my passion. And I call myself a performer and an announcer, but I really have a true passionate love for what you guys go through, for what you do. And I've done everything in the 27 plus years I've been doing this. It'll be 27 years come February that I've been doing this. Because I'm the longest one. I started at UFC 8 in Baimon, Puerto Rico. Okay.
Wow.
And I've done everything I can to make it vocal, to get you publicity, to do this. I want to see you make $1 million every time you walk in there. I want to see you make the most money. You're putting your blood, sweat, and tears on the line. And the bottom line is you need to be rewarded. And so I'm all about the fighters, nothing else. And the fans, the fighters and the fans. I'm all about
Let me tell you, it shows, man. It shows. Like that, like when you announce, it comes from the heart. Like you can't fake that. You can't duplicate that. Like it is coming from your soul, man. And like, it is so cool. It's freaking awesome. And like, just hearing that, like you literally have a lifetime of passion of not only just martial arts, but of just being a bad dude. Like
I'm a good dude, but don't put your hands on me. All good. Like my dad always said, he said, beat or not, just make sure you just punch until they're done. If you go down in a pool of blood, the bottom line is you stood up for yourself.
That's right.
That's what I was taught from a very young age, period. Damn. Good.
I like that.
Very cool. Vanessa, I'm going to go over 2 more things and we got to get going here. And thank you for that. Thank you for your kind words. It makes me very happy because I am all about you. And the moment I can announce you with passion and the moment I can announce loving it the way I do, it's time for me to retire. And I'll be the first one to do it. Trust me. I'm not in it for the paycheck, although I'll cash it on a Monday morning. Trust me. But I'm not about the paycheck, but I am about the paycheck, but I'm not about the paycheck, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I know everything that you're saying. You're loved.
Cool. Very cool. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Jeffrey Dahmer's glasses, TJ. The war in prison. God. They're going up for auction. How much do you think they're going to sell?
Right now with that Netflix thing, probably a lot higher than they would have
$150,000.
Yeah.
Who the hell wants to buy Jeffrey Dahmer's glasses?
I don't know.
But I will tell you, I am auctioning off on eBay for those who check, and I think it's over on Saturday or Sunday, a signed UFC 101 poster. Kenny Florian. BJ Penn. Anderson Silva, Forrest Griffin. It's on eBay right now. I'm also throwing in what I charge $125 for, the audio championship recordings. So it's starting bids $150. I'm just putting stuff out for charity.
Nice.
Actually working with my boy Rupert, right? Kristen's son. And I'm teaching him some more business and stuff. And I'm teaching him how to work on eBay. And we're going to start auctioning off some stuff together.
Awesome.
But money goes to charity, children, military, and animal charities. Period.
Cool.
All good. Vanessa, what would you like to tell us? Anything special? Please share with us anything, your Instagram. Do you have an OnlyFans site?
I don't, but Lil Monster Demo on Instagram. And what I want to tell you guys is how excited I am to fight on November 19th. We're stepping into that cage. We're doing awesome stuff. I would flex right now, but I'm wearing a shirt.
Very cool. Very cool.
I'm so pumped. I love it. So yeah, November 19th, keep your eyes peeled. Little Monster coming in hot. And yeah, I'm trying to be, just me. I don't care about nothing else, man. I just walk in there with myself and all the craziness that comes along with it.
Then do it. And you know what? It's a success formula that's working. Don't stop the wheel. It's turning. Keep it going. Okay. Much respect to you, Vanessa. Right. I'm going to be watching with pleasure and joy as you progress and your evolutionary process. So, and I'll always be in your corner. We don't really have corners in the octagon, but trust me, red or blue, I'm there.
As you are. Are you going to be there on the 19th?
Vanessa, I might not be. No, Vanessa, I'm not doing that show. I'm sorry. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. Joe Martinez will be there as he's there this Saturday. He does a very good job. He'll get you going.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe not like
Thank
me,
you.
but it'll get you going.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate your coming on the show. We'll have you on again. Okay. If you'd like to be on, we'd love to have you on again.
Yeah, you're amazing. I
Oh,
appreciate you.
well, TJ's amazing too. Come on. He's
I
sitting over
mean,
there.
I love TJ. TJ knows this. All right. Take care, you guys. We'll see you soon.
See you,
Thanks, Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Take care.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Cheers. Excellent interview.
Oh,
Been
she's
trying to get her
great.
on the show forever. She's
Yeah.
really nice. I've not
No,
had the chance to speak to her personally.
Yeah.
Very entertaining and just cool. Very cool.
Yeah, tons of fun. She'll be commentating with me, not this weekend, but next weekend in El Paso, Texas for Medusa Female Only Jiu-Jitsu, as well as the Eddie Bravo Invitational. So you can check that out on Fight Pass.
Is that happening? Oh no, that's not the same weekend. Eddie Bravo's Invitational.
It's it is. It's the 22nd and 23rd. So they're back-to-back nights.
Oh yeah. Victor DeValia was asking me about that.
Yeah. So
anyway, I won't be able to make it.
Nah, you'll be in Abu Dhabi.
Yep. God, what a trip. I leave on Wednesday night, TJ, arrive on Thursday to whatever to 20 hours.
Yeah.
Got one day to recoup. Then we have Saturday and I got to go to the airport
hard.
2 hours after the show. I got to drive to Dubai to get back here.
That's hard. Real quick before we get out, do you know what happened 25 years ago today?
No.
It happened in Japan.
Was I there?
No, you were not there.
Okay.
What do you think would have happened in Japan 25 years ago that would make me bring it up on this show? Think MMA.
The first UFC show in Japan?
No, first Pride FC.
Oh, wow. The first Pride show.
25 years ago today.
Think about that. Lenny Hart, it took that long for me to even work with her, which was a few weeks ago.
I don't even know if Lenny was on the first Pride show, to be honest.
She might not have been.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, the first Pride show really wasn't thought of as the beginning of really much of anything.
No.
It was, Nobuhiko Takada taking on Rickson Gracie in a fight that really only the Japanese fans wanted. And, I think like Chemo was on there. Chemo fought Dan Severn, I think. Just a very strange fight card, but we all obviously know what happened with Pride and where it went and its significant impact on the sport.
I ever tell you the show that I did with Dan Severn in Kellogg, Michigan?
No.
Michigan went. It was one of these, when I used to do like cowboy bars and different shows all around.
Sure, of course.
They set up a cage that had a top, right?
Uh-huh.
The cage collapsed during the match.
Oh my!
It was like
and it had
was
a
a
top
ring.
on it.
Yeah, it had a top on it, and then they brought in the cage, and the cage it was just one of those funky shows. The main event guy, I don't want to mention a name, the actual promoter of the show, was smoking joints in the back before he was even going out for his 3-round kickbox. These are the days when it was crazy. Right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I grew up going to mixed martial arts events in Minnesota where it was unregulated. It wasn't illegal, but it was unregulated.
It's unregulated
the
and illegal. I'm not afraid to admit it. I did underground fights. That's
what the sport had to operate under. You know what I mean? It was either that or just don't be in business.
Hey, I remember places, and I won't mention where, with Tito Ortiz and like guys like Chuck Liddell and I down, just fighters there, whatever, and just stuff was happening. So
right, of course.
Hey, we all had to cut our teeth somewhere. So all good.
Yeah, and look, it all worked out in the end. We're doing it the right way now. No smoky back rooms or anything like that.
No, it's the biggest thing happening in fighting sports. Okay, real quick. I know you got to go. Get this, TJ. I told you I never saw my last name in a phone book. There was an actor named Ray Buffer. Okay. Ray Buffer. He's a comic. He's an actor, right?
Okay.
They got him on video stealing. You've seen him. If you see his face, you recognize it. They got him on video stealing $600 worth of comic books, stuffing them in a shirt in a comic book store.
All right.
Now I'm only bringing it up because his last name is Buffer. He better not contact me. There's no more buffers. I have plenty of buffers.
Yeah, no. I don't think so. There's going to be quite a big buffer between you and him.
Exactly. And one last thing. This is why I tell you don't do anything crypto unless it's with crypto.com, which is obviously very legitimate. But Kardashian just got charged by the SEC $1.26 million for promoting crypto.
I don't even know how that works.
I've been told to avoid crypto deals because they are going after celebrities for.
But I thought that was unregulated.
I can't answer that. There's so many crypto companies out there, and they're throwing money at people. People just sign up to do what they do.
Right. Yeah. And that's the other thing too, is like, we really don't know, what the end game is here on crypto. I mean, it's a way to make some quick money for sure. But when you look at the investing strategies for a lot of people, it's more like playing a casino game than it is actually investing.
Get this. She was paid $250,000 to post about Emacs tokens on Instagram.
Uh-huh.
Right? And the SEC fined her 1.25 million because of whatever.
But I don't know how that works because the SEC doesn't regulate crypto.
It's right here, SEC.
No, I hear you. I don't get it.
Anyway, that's okay. She agreed to pay it. So I don't think it's going to affect her
No,
checkbook
no.
too much. TJ, you and I are both animal lovers. The world's oldest dog died.
Oh no, how old?
22 years old.
Wow, that's an old doggy.
Yeah. I love dogs. Okay. I think that's good for the day. And let's move on. My Eagles are 5-0. Sorry, Raiders.
Yeah, they are.
They're 1-4.
Those
Eagles are
Cardinals, though, they put up a heck of a fight.
Heck of a fight. Definitely good, wild. And last week, a Pittsburgh Steelers fan fell from an escalator and died at the stadium.
Terribly sad.
How do you do that?
I mean, it's easy to fall. I'm clumsy.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I'm sorry. Condolences out to his family and loved
I
ones.
don't mean to laugh, but no, I hate to say it. I could see myself, unfortunately, meeting my demise that way because I trip over my own feet.
All right. Well, we'll knock on wood on that one, TJ. You're going to leave it at that. Okay. Big show this weekend in respect to a UFC fight night. Cub Swanson's back fighting Jonathan Martinez. And the main event is Alexa Grasso against Viviane Araújo. So enjoy it. Have a good time. I will not be there, but I will be in Abu Dhabi. And we having a show next week, TJ? I leave on Wednesday.
We'll figure it out. I think so. We can make it happen. Also, speaking of this weekend, check out Jorge Masvidal's Icon Fighting Championship. It is this Friday in Savannah, Georgia. I'll be on the call with Pearl Gonzalez, so please tune in to UFC Fight Pass.
Does he still have that guy that imitates me that was
no. So he never did any of the shows that I've worked on with. It was one of his other promotions that's not on Fight Pass.
Cool. I told Jorge when I saw him, I said, Jorge, good luck with your promotion. I understand you gave him a job. Please do not let him say it's time or otherwise we're going to have a conversation.
He didn't say it's time, is it? Did he?
Well, no. I'm just saying he emulates.
So much. I know. Trust me. I see this.
I'm giving the kid credit.
I mean, I see this guy all around town. He goes and, finds these athletes and does it. And it's cute. It's a little bit tiresome to me at this point. Well, I've seen him do it. It's just, that's the thing though. I guess they're impersonators, right? They're Elvis impersonators. They go out and make money. It's a weird look for me.
Hey, I wish him all the best. If he wants to be an announcer, go for it. Do the best job you can. I would not tell him not to pursue his dreams if that's what it's all about. So
right.
We will leave it at that. One last thing. Did you hear about the pro fishing repeat champs that were accused of stuffing walleye with weights?
I did. Yeah.
What the heck?
Hey, it's that, age-old saying, anybody competing for anything of high stakes, they're going to be looking for an advantage.
I guess so. All right, TJ. For me, I will be, for those of you that want to come see, I will be in Riverside, California this Friday. If you're listening to the show on Friday or listening to the show on Thursday afternoon, I will be there from 4:30 to from 5 o'clock to 7 p.m. They've got a DJ and a party going on.
Nice.
And it's pardon me?
I said nice.
Yeah, it's at the Riverside Food Lab, and it is for Wilson's inside. So it's for Puncher's Chance. I'll be there signing bottles. Come get your bottle of Puncher's Chance and get ready to enjoy your weekend show as you're watching the UFC on Saturday night. And of course, next week at Abu Dhabi. With that being said, TJ, as always, thank you. Thanks for bringing Vanessa on. She's fun. I want her back on the show.
For sure. We'll make it happen.
After she wins her fight, let's bring her back. We'll talk about it.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, everybody, set your goals, write them down, make sure you're knowledgeable about what your choices are. So when you set out on that yellow brick road of life, you perform and be the best you can be, whether you're first, second, third, 10th, or the champion of the world. Bottom line, when you're doing your best, you're being your best, you're winning. And that's what we're all about on the show. So go out there and win. Have a great week. Stay healthy, stay safe, be real, and be respectful to everybody around you. Big cheers. No fears, everybody. Buffer out. Bye-bye.